live stream here from Wimbledon. And yeah, I haven't been with you for 2 or 3 days. I apologise. Lots of matches, but as ever, we are bringing this podcast with our partners, the Velas. A big shout out to them for all the help and support they give to many people in our sport, and we're delighted to have them on board. I hope you're well wherever you are. I apologise we haven't been with you. We had a little bit of rain and the days have ended up going a little bit longer than expected, so coming off court matches late. It's been a mixed bag for my teams. Anyone that's been following, Erin Routliffe and Gabby Dabrowski have moved into the last 16 of the women's doubles, so they will be playing that match tomorrow. And then, unfortunately, my men's pair of Nikola Mektic and Michael Venus, they lost a very tight encounter in the second round, 7-6 in the third, a bit of a heartbreaker, and then also went down in the mixed doubles yesterday as well. So we're still going strong in the women's doubles, but a couple of difficult losses. It's not easy, people turn up and, it comes down to pretty much all of these matches, especially on the double side, come down to kind of 2 to 4 points you can look back at. Now, we've got lots to talk about. We've got a few things, but I've just been joined here by a young Tom Lindley. A big welcome to Control Controllables. Tom, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm privileged to be on here.
It's the privilege is all ours, and there's some questions that have been coming in. Tom has been a hidden partner at Wimbledon for the last 2 or 3 years. He's always does a great job. The first question I guess everyone wants to ask, Tom, how's the body holding up? It's not easy for you hitting partners, especially the hot days that we've had over the last few days.
Yeah, I mean, beginning of this week, I had some pretty bad heat stroke. I was pretty wiped out on Tuesday. But yeah, I can't even tell you how many blisters I've got on my feet. And we are very lucky here. We get to use the physio. So we're all getting our massages every evening. But yeah, no, it's a tough job, but it's good fun.
I guess you've got to almost treat yourself like professional players in lots of ways, in terms of making sure the body holds up, making sure you're getting the right nutrition, making sure that you're getting the right sleep. So I'm sure there's been no pubs and clubs for you and the rest of the team during this Wimbledon.
No, I mean, a few of them have been enjoying a few nights at the Dog and Fox, and I've been feeling worse for wear on court the next morning. But no,
we won't say names.
I'm not name calling on her, but one of them I'm actually watching right now. He's struggling a little bit, but
It's a Sunday afternoon as a hitting partner at Wimbledon. And we've got some questions coming in, but just tell us who have you been hitting with,
So I've had Novak a few times. I've had Tiafoe, Rybakina, Mensik. I've been with Dimitrov the last few days. Who else? All sorts. You get a good share. I've just had Matt Ebden this afternoon, for example. So it's not just the singles guys. It's and it's all sorts of different sessions as well. It's match warm-ups. It's full 90-minute practices. It's all sorts of different stuff. But yeah.
And how does that vary? Like, I guess you're getting to see how the top players do it, right? And is there one way? Is there one way that they like to practice? Is there how different is it?
Everyone is very different. Like I've seen Novak dialed in for 90 minutes straight, with one water break, and then I've had an hour with Tiafoe, and we're just laughing the whole time. It's like everyone has their own way, and I guess everyone at this stage, when they've made it at Wimbledon, everyone knows what works for them. So it's very much the coach. I guess it's the coach's job to try and make them feel the way that they want to feel, or they perform best at. And there are some players that perform best when it's super dialed in and they're super serious, and there's others that enjoy the lightheartedness of some jokes and messing around a little bit.
We've got some questions coming in. We've got Ghost, who first of all, Ghost, thank you for joining us.
Ghost.
Yeah, so I'm not sure that's his real name, but he's asking why we're streaming now. It's wild. It's wild how much Brits love Norrie. Norrie's obviously playing right now. He's 2 sets love up. He's 5-4 up in the third set. Absolutely not. You know, Cameron Norrie is loved by many, including myself. Actually, I think Cam Norrie is a great guy. He's also a Newcastle United fan, which helps a lot. But the reason that we're streaming right now is just finding the windows. Primary job here is to be coaching tennis players, and then when there's windows around the players' practice sessions and preparation, that we looked into it. He's also asked if we're still crying over Draper sitting at home. And again, certainly no tears. Jack Draper's had an incredible last 6-9 months. He really has, and you can't win them all, right? There's lots of great players out there, but certainly I think as British players, very, very proud of what Jack Draper's doing as well. We've obviously got Arina Sabalenka that's on the court right now, actually on the double side as well, a match that's been going now for a while. Siniaka Townsend, the number 1 seeds in the women's doubles, have just got to break up in the third set. An interesting match out in court 18 that's happening right now. Vavasori and Arari, who have won so many of the mixed doubles events, they had a match point, I believe, in the second set, and now they're 5-2 down in the third set. Obviously, the mixed doubles being long form tennis on this occasion. But a couple of questions that have come in for you, Tom, sitting partners. How intense can their warm-ups get? When the warm-ups, and before you answer that question, I remember back in 2012 having the opportunity with players that I worked with to hit with Roger and Rafa, and the players warmed them up for their respective matches. One of those matches was semi-finals in Australian Open, and another match with Rafa was the quarterfinals in French Open, and it couldn't have been any different. So it's certainly it's an interesting one just to see that potentially 2 of the greatest ever male players, how different their warm-ups are. What have you found over the last 10 days or so with the warm-ups? How intense do they get?
Just specifically warm-ups, like before a match.
The match warm-ups.
Yeah. It's a funny one because everyone is very different. Like there are some people that they'll just go middle, volleys, serve returns, and they're done. There are some that will block out, like for example, Novak will usually block out a full hour rather than just a 30-minute block. And he quite likes to go crosses, a lot of returns, a lot of serves. But yeah, like yesterday, for example, I had Mensik, and it was like, we literally were on the court for 15 minutes. So it's funny, like everyone is very different. And I think people prioritize different things. I think some people don't care too much about warming up too much on the court. There are others, that there are some that like want to do a really good physical, and then they'll just go on court, go through the motions a little bit just to loosen up, have some fun with their team. And then, but there are others that will want to do a full 50 minutes before they go on court. So everyone is very different. Just like you said, Rafa and Roger, I would guess Roger was probably 15 minutes and Rafa was wanting to nail the ball for a good 40 minutes. I don't know.
It was crazy. It's the most intense thing I've ever been a part of. Like really, it was just outrageous. Roger, I always talk about it because Roger actually, it was with Liam Brody, and he wanted Liam to rip forehands up high to his backhand, and that was in 2012. And then they played in an incredible match a few years later, maybe 2017, and in that particular match, everyone said, "Oh, he's found his backhand. Where's this backhand come from?" He was all of a sudden taking the backhand on the rise. Yeah. And that was something he'd been working on for about 5-6 years and probably longer. Yeah. Because he used to chip against Rafa. So I think that was very interesting with Roger. He wasn't really interested in doing a full a full warm up,
Like
and it was
very specific stuff, and then he was done, or
yeah, it was very, very
yeah,
light-hearted.
yeah,
He was very, chilled, but he was wanting to do just one thing,
yeah,
which was play high balls on his
yeah,
backhand. That's all
yeah,
he really wanted to do, because he knew, I guess, he was going to get so many.
yeah,
Rafa didn't want to really talk to anybody. It was all very businesslike. It was intense. It was with Josh Ward-Hibbert. Josh Ward-Hibbert actually ended up raising the tempo a couple of times on him, which
yeah.
he didn't like.
Okay.
And you knew that it was like, whoa, this guy is already in lockdown mode.
Yeah.
And I believe he went on and won that match against Argentinian guy. I've forgotten his name. I don't know. I shouldn't forget his name. He's a very good player, but beat him like, I think it was 2-1 and 2.
Okay.
And you could almost see it in his eyes. It was
Yeah.
there. And actually, Novak, tell us about Novak, because I've called him to win this Wimbledon. I've seen it coming for a while.
Yeah.
I think he locked in before French Open. I've seen him in the warm-up areas here. He was doing something the other day. He had all of his team with the kind of blaze pods.
Yeah.
But it was just before he went on court, almost like it was like some kind of ceremony that was happening. You could but you could feel the intensity.
It's like I hit with him last year for the first time, and it was just after he'd come back from his knee surgery. So you could kind of feel that he was like very focused, but a little bit careful. He was like a little wary that he couldn't go all out. I don't know. I mean, he still made, what was it, final or semis or something. So he was still in good physical nick, but this year, the guy's nails. Like, he's like in the warm up area. Is just everywhere you see him, he's just like, it looks like he's on a mission. Yeah, he's my favorite, I think, for the tournament. Like, I just think he looks so good right now on court, and he seems like he's proper zoned in. So,
he's in that space. Even I actually saw his chiropractor yesterday, who he flew in from Hawaii. His chiropractor was about to go on holiday with his family, and he got the Novak call.
Yeah, you can't say no.
Like, you get the Novak call, and that also means he means business.
Yeah.
Like, he's no stone unturned. And yeah, I mean, obviously we can't just say he's going to roll through the draw. However, he's certainly, for me, right up there with Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz. We've got here another question. We've got who's been your favourite to hit with this year, and who has been your favourite from any of the years that you have hit?
Favorite as in like enjoyed the most fun, like.
I'm not. That's your interpretation. If you want to interpret that one way.
I'd say the one I felt like I played very well and my level was so high and I was just enjoying every minute on court was a few years back. I had Sinner for 90 minutes on the indoor hards, and I've never had so much fun. Like, I was playing unreal. Mike was actually on the court with me as my coach. And yeah, it was great fun. In terms of like what I learned the most from, like, and just, I'd say Novak. Like, you just, everything you do, you kind of watching him, you're trying to see what he's doing. But Sinner, it was actually before, I think Sinner was about 10 in the world at the time. It was 2 years Wimbledon. And yeah, I still remember it now. Like, I felt unbelievable on the court. It was great fun.
Amazing experiences. And Rebecca was someone that you spent a lot of time with last year.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's been much talked about over the last 12 months, not necessarily for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Her coach or ex-coach or whatever relationship that is right now. She hasn't been the same player the last 12 months. I actually picked her to go far. I wanted to go a little bit on a different path to just Sabalenka. I saw that she potentially had a draw that was going to open up, but she obviously fell to Towson yesterday. Did you see a different Rebecca this year to last year?
You know what? Honestly,
what was different?
It's funny you say that, because I actually thought she was in a better space this year than she was last year. Like, she seemed, like, I get on with her quite well now, and she was really pleasant, like really nice to be around. She's always saying hi. Physically, she was feeling good, and so yeah, that surprised me. The result yesterday. I spoke to a coach today, and I think he was, it was a tough one for them as well. But yeah, like I think she's very, very good, and I'd want nothing more than to see her, do well, because she's just a very genuine, very nice person. So yeah.
Yeah, well, Towson can play as well. We shouldn't
Yeah.
take anything away from Towson. She's someone that's absolutely on the rise. Another question that's come in, I think this is probably more for myself. How are Gabby and Erin doing ahead of the next round as they go into their last 16 match with Kromacheva and Stoller tomorrow? Very good. Both disappointed. Mixed doubles they take very seriously. Hats off to Salisbury Stefani, who played a great match against Erin and Mike Venus. And then also hats off to Galloway and Sutiaji, who he just played like the most relaxed, lights out tennis yesterday. We thought that we had them in the mixed doubles, but they came up big. I was really impressed with Gabby in the third set. Someone who's been out injured for a few weeks, but she's got one of those special abilities to, when she picks up a racket, the feeling is there. Her body's holding up really well. They're in good spirits. We got a good practice session today. Came off for the rain a little bit, finished off indoors. Match preparation pretty much done. We've watched the opponents. We know the game plan, and yeah, it's about then executing tomorrow. So got a lot of respect for the players they play against, and that could obviously we always know these matches can go either way, but I feel good that Gabby and Erin will put in a good performance tomorrow. So whoever's asked that question, thank you, and please keep supporting Gabby and Erin as well. If you're at Wimbledon tomorrow, please come along as well and get involved. It makes a big difference. It makes a big difference to have people behind the team. In terms of kind of some headlines, obviously we spoke about a few days ago. There was 13 seeds went out in round one. All of the players that won grass court tournaments then lost. Since then, I guess a few little headlines that we've had, and Tom, please jump in here if you've got any insights. But Marian Cilic, obviously Grand Slam winner, not many of them that are from that period. He's one of the very few outside of the big names over the last few years that has won a major title. Was at the expense of Jack Draper, but that was a great win that he had. Could then hear the noise on court 18 yesterday. The Croatians get everywhere, and I believe he's the third oldest man to ever beat a top four seed at Wimbledon. How much further can Marian Cilic go, in your opinion?
Who does he play next again?
So Cilic is now up against. He plays against Kaboli.
I mean, yeah, Cilic has got that game right that he can hit through anyone, like if he's feeling it. I was with Matthew watching Cilic Munar last night, and the atmosphere was amazing. There were Croatians, there were Spanish guys. It was a really good match. And like, yeah, I actually can't remember if or when I've ever seen Cilic live. His forehand is huge. Like huge. So yeah, I mean, he could win another few matches. I'm sure at this point he's got the experience of.
I don't know about a few. He's already in the last 16. He wins a few more. He wins the tournament. If he wins this next round, he plays the winner of Alex de Minaur and a certain Novak Djokovic.
It's tough. It's tough, that for sure. But yeah, well, I think I would put him as a favourite to beat Kaboli, and then I don't know whether he can take Novak down. Probably not, but
let's see.
Yeah.
And then we've got Solana Sierra, the first ever lucky loser to reach the fourth round of Wimbledon in the Open era. She did go out today to Laura Siegmund. Who Siegmund I saw practicing her slice forehands. It took Madison Keys apart. She's obviously a danger on these things, but an unbelievable run for her. Then, of course, Yannick Sinner, who's just lost 17 games so far throughout the tournament. As the fewest games dropped en route to a men's fourth round at Wimbledon in the Open era. He just seems to dismantle people that he's better than, right?
Yeah.
It seems like almost
Yeah.
there's two players in the draw I think can beat him, and that's a certain Carlos Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic. I'm not sure anyone else is going to get close to Sinner.
No, I'd agree with you there for sure.
And then we've talked about Novak Djokovic, Tom, 100 Wimbledon wins, which is just quite incredible. You know, I saw a stat the other day. It was someone had just had 100 major wins, and it was a good player. And you thought they've won 100 matches in all majors.
Yeah.
And then they were like, but Novak Djokovic has won 100
in one.
And I think he's won 100 now in 3 of them. I think US Open he's on 90. I think Australian Open he's over 100, and I think French Open he's having 99 or 100. To be winning that number of matches is just incredible. And I know we've talked a lot about Novak, and I want to move on to just a couple more things before I let you go.
Yeah.
But when are we going to start appreciating just how good Novak Djokovic is?
I was just about to say, I think it's you can't argue that he's not the greatest of all time now. You hear those stats and it's like no one's going close. Like, was he 38 now?
He's 38. So he's born in 1987.
38, and he's made semis of both of the slams this year, and he's one of the favourites to win Wimbledon. You know, it's unbelievable what he's doing. Like, at this point now, I don't think anyone can argue against the GOAT status for Novak, in my opinion.
On the live stream it's great. We love all the energy that's coming through from this, especially Ghost. Ghost is coming at us with all sorts today. Ghost, once we know who you are, you know, none of this Ghost stuff. Once we get your name, we get your ID. I'd love to get you on the podcast. You're bringing up lots of great topics. You obviously got a lot of passion for the sport. So thank you for all of your comments. But let's get you on. Let's get you on the live stream. But we need to know who you are. I can't be having someone called Ghost on the podcast. We need real names. So what we're going to do, Tom, is we did this the other day with Bruce.
With Bruce?
And Bruce Lipka.
Okay.
Who the Aaron Routlow's coach and Penn State head of men's tennis. Yeah. And we named some celebrities. And the celebrities that have been in the box, the Royal Box on Central Court. Now, we just had yesterday many of them. And I give the names and you've got to say who they are. Now, for an American, this was more difficult. You know,
this weekend is the sporting one, right?
Maybe.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to start with an easy one.
Go on,
Sir Jeff Hurst.
Easy. Is he cricket? Cricket?
Oh my goodness! You are going to have pelters thrown at you for this.
No idea.
Sir Jeff Hurst.
No idea.
Scored a hat trick in the World Cup final in 1966 when England beat West Germany to win the World Cup.
I've heard the name for sure, but
I mean, you young pup, that is unbelievable. Know your history have come on. So we're none for one. Second one, Tim Peake.
He's an astronaut.
How do you know that, but you don't know Jeff Hurst?
It's the modern day.
Very good. Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell.
Yep.
I'm going to go for a guess here and say cricket.
I think there is a Glenn Powell who plays cricket. He is very much an actor.
Okay.
Spy Kids, Game Over, Fast Food Nation. He looks like a very handsome chap. Anyway, Glenn Powell. So you're 1 for 3, not doing so well.
No.
Brian O'Driscoll.
Rugby player. Irish rugby player.
There we go. 2 for 4.
Yeah.
Bethany England.
Oh. I was going to say football, but they're at the Euros. Cyclist or a hockey player? It's one of those two, I'm sure.
Trust the instincts. Football.
Really?
Former English footballer. Almost, you were there. What about this one? Laura Kenny,
Cyclist.
gold medalist. And what's the name of her husband?
Jason.
There we go. We're starting to fly.
They were both there, so does that count as 2?
That counts as 2. We're 4 for 6. 4
Okay.
for 7. 4 for 7.
Okay.
We got 3 more. Dame Denise Lewis.
Athlete. She did running or heptathlon or something, yeah.
Heptathlon.
Heptathlon, there you
We'll
go.
give it to you. Sir Steve Redgrave.
Rower.
There we go. We're flying. Last one. Rain Wilson.
What?
Rain Wilson.
Rainn.
Rainn Wilson.
There's no clues allowed, no?
No clues allowed. I can show you a picture.
Yeah. Oh, that's an actor.
That's an actor from what?
He's in The Office, no?
There you go. Which one? English or
the American one?
The American Office. There you go. So we'll give you half a point.
Why? Oh, because of you the clue.
What do you mean why? I showed you a picture of who it was.
Yeah, okay.
So what have we got? What have we got looking forward to tomorrow? We have the order of play out for tomorrow. So we've got Alex Di Manua and Novak Djokovic on centre court, followed by Mira Andreeva and Emma Navarro, and then Yannick Sinner against Dimitrov. And then on the court number 1, we've got Alexandrova against Bencic. We've got Shelton against Senego, which will be a cracking match. Senego, what an exciting match over 5 hours that was with Nakashima.
Yeah.
14, the whole of Wimbledon could hear that. And then we have Iga Swiatek taking on Kara Towson. It's a big, big day. Even out of court 2, we've then got Silic and Kaboli, Samsonova against Buses Monero. Who are you? Which matches?
Good matches tomorrow.
Give us 2 matches. 2 matches to have our eye on tomorrow.
Dinner Dimitrov. And Demon or Novak, I think. In terms of what? In terms of potential upset or just level of the match?
So say that again. Demon or Djokovic.
And Sinner Dimitrov, I think.
What about on the women's side?
That Buzas Monero has had a great tournament. She's
Yes.
a young Spanish girl. She's had an amazing tournament. Who did you say she's playing, sorry? Samsonova.
Samsonova.
Okay. I mean, yeah, if she can get another win, it's pretty incredible what she's doing on a grass court as well. And Iga's always great to watch. The intensity she's bringing onto the court, she's always good to watch.
Absolutely, I think that's my pick. Iga against Towson.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be a great match. I expect that to be a long 3-setter. I also am with you. I think Di Manua Djokovic could be a great match.
Yeah.
Di Manua's right there or thereabouts.
I'm only saying Dimitrov just because I've been on with him the last few days, so he's turning into a favourite of mine.
Yeah, I love Dimitrov. I'm just not sure that he's got it in him to push Yannick Sinner.
Well, maybe the slice will throw him off a little bit. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, but I think it's more. I almost don't think it's about tennis. I think it's about what the belief system tells you. You know, does he quite believe it? So we have on court right now. Before we go, Sabalenka is a 7-6-5 up on Mertens. We've got Jarry has won the 3rd set against Norrie.
Oh wow!
And now 3-2 in the 4th set. Those are the singles matches that we have going right now here on Middle Sunday. The Middle Sunday that is normally not a match Sunday, you know, and it feels a little bit weird. I think that was quite a special time actually that players valued so much. You know, bring families in and spend a bit of time. It was just a bit of quiet time, but as goes with the rest of the world right now, we tend to get rid of those moments.
Money's the important thing.
Money talks. Tom Lindley, it's been a pleasure having you on. all the best for the rest of the championships. And,
Thank you.
And yeah, I hope that body's holding up okay. Thank you for all your questions, Ghost. Thank you for your enthusiasm this Sunday afternoon, and for getting absolutely involved with the conversation. Let us know who you are, and we'll get you on the podcast. But until next time, I'm Dan Kiernan, and we are Control the Controllables.